Hey, get your doctor-recommended dose of thrilling legality thanks to our friends at Rio Caraway.
Yes, Dina's with our trusted legal experts to break down the latest headlines in another edition of Sidebar.
Yes, hello. All right, Rio and Caraway with the one and only Dan today. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Missing the other half, but that's okay. We're still going to get through a couple of really interesting stories.
We'll do our best.
Okay, so the first one, get ready, people out there, to be spooked and just totally freaked out by this. So a man went into surgery to get his appendix removed. He had appendicitis. This was actually not in California. It was out of state. The doctors took out the wrong organ.
Oh, come on.
No.
Dan.
This is terrifying. This is probably literally everybody's nightmare about going under the knife. You have a situation, he goes in, very well identified issue. They're going in to take out the appendix. He's got appendicitis, which, as everybody knows, is serious.
Yes.
It can rupture.
Yes.
You can get very ill, if not die from it.
Right.
Goes in, wakes up, he's in horrible pain. Gets a CT scan, realizes they didn't take out his appendix. They took out part of his colon because they couldn't find it.
Oh, my God.
Okay, first of all, I'm not a doctor, but I'm pretty sure it's pretty obvious, the colon versus appendix. But then why not, if they can't find the appendix, just say, let's stop and stitch him up? Like, why go to the next round of taking something else out?
This begs so many questions, and this is exactly the issue. So unfortunately, obviously horrible results. He's missing part of his colon now. His appendix is still there. He still has to go back under to have it removed. Then he has to go back under again to have the colon fixed because the colon is now ruptured and is now spilling into his internal cavity.
And he goes septic.
He goes septic.
Oh my
He's
gosh.
horrible infection. This is bad.
Lovely.
Legally, the very interesting issues that come up from something like this is, I mean, this violates so many malpractice standards, you know, competency issues that have to be looked at, but also even just basic consent.
Yes.
You went in for a very identified purpose. You went in and you agreed to undergo a very identified procedure. Something else entirely occurred.
Right, that you did not consent to.
This is a very frightening and very,
eye-opening.
Yeah, example of what no one would want on anyone.
By the way, there's a cap on medical malpractice cases, which I didn't realize.
So, yeah, in California, historically, until very recently, we had a cap that regardless of what occurred in a medical malpractice scenario, the person had a cap of $250,000 in pain and suffering.
Wow.
This has been thankfully amended, and it just needed to be updated with the times. It was due. I mean, this thing literally was in place before I was born.
Okay.
And so it's been updated. We now have a rolling scale over the next few years until now we'll have an adjustment for inflation going forward.
Okay. Gosh, well, we hope this man is okay. Next story, real quickly. So many of you who drive, I've seen this in the cars next to me, sometimes put something around the steering wheel that has like bling or like a leather band or something. Now it's kind of a PSA. Officials are saying, please do not put this on the steering wheel. Yeah,
so this is one of those things where the unintended consequences are much more than we realize.
Yeah.
We're beautifying, we think this is fun, this is cute. This is where your airbag is.
Right.
You are creating lethal projectiles, and there are absolutely reported cases of death, maiming, horrible injury that occur because this is right at your face and chest level, and you are now having these, people are basically, the most dangerous ones are where they're putting hard objects, rhinestones, rocks, gems, anything of that nature. Well, now these are flying at you at hundreds of miles an hour.
Oh my gosh.
There's nothing more devastating.
So federal regulators saying, please stop. So don't think about giving your loved one that for Christmas, please.
Right.
Not this year.
Off the list.
Okay, and then finally, we don't have a ton of time, but we have actually covered a number of stories where police, sheriff's deputies pursue a suspect on a busy thoroughfare, a busy highway. And the question is, at what point is it safe to do so? At what point does the public have the right to say, hey, we maybe should have pulled back on this? So what's the overall consensus here?
So the easiest way to look at this is it's absolutely case by case. It's so circumstantial because the officer on the scene at the time has to make a judgment call, usually with radioing in and getting authority to go what is basically code 3, lights and sirens, to make a pursuit. It can be when someone runs from a traffic stop. It can be because there's a dangerous situation they're trying to prevent. Yes, there's always a heightened risk to the public when they go ahead and they do these chases. But the whole thing they're weighing against is if they don't, is it going to be that much worse? And this is why, in true Code 3, lights and sirens, when they've been authorized, they have a lot of immunity because they are trying to prevent an even worse catastrophe.
So the legal answer to this is it's case by case.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Dan. Again, Del Rio and Caraway, the latest on some of those very hot legal topics. I'm still stuck on the wrong organ getting pulled out.
I know.
Yikes. All right. Back to you guys.
Well,
Jeez.
we got to take something out.